All right, Juman juice.
Honestly, if you have a girlfriend, you just need to watch out for her luteal phase and ovulation phase. I think luteal phase is pretty obvious because it's a week before we get our period, so our hormones are up and down. We're very emotional. Everything you do can annoy us. We're just like annoyed, right? Like even tiniest thing can make us cry, or we will have a lot of different symptoms before we get our period. So that one, we just need to like walk around and just really be nice to her.
This is exactly why I always tell guys to be extremely dynamic in their approach with women. A lot of times girls will use their period cycle as an excuse, but there probably is some credibility to this. This is why it's essential to always be aware of her emotional state at all times. There will be days where you can be extremely direct with them and they will give you positive feedback for doing this. There will be other days where you'll do the exact same thing and you'll get extremely negative feedback. They have a tendency to call this emotional intelligence. Of course, you have to be very careful with this because they tend to use it to benefit them at all times. Emotional intelligence doesn't always mean you have to be nice to them or you have to always say to them what will make them feel good necessarily. What it does mean though is that you always have to be aware of where their emotional state is at currently. You always have to give the appropriate response given the context. There's no script here. This is where experience is extremely useful.
Or give her all the empathy and sympathy that you have. Be nice to her. But ovulation phase, oh, it's a different type of watch out thing you need to do. The amount of energy that we have during ovulation phase, like you need to run away from her because we will be chasing you too. You know, come play with us, give us some attention, and we'll be like all over you. And I think sometimes it tires the guys out.
It's during these phases, of course, that you can afford to be more direct and more playful, which often leads to intimacy. Don't be that guy by going and asking her what day she's in her cycle. You have to develop the ability to intuitively know where she's at in her cycle without having to ask her, of course. If you get really good at doing this, it will help her perceive you as a guy who can read minds. I do this all the time with girls I'm intimate with, and they obviously think that I know exactly what they're thinking at all times. It's extremely useful if you have a good sense of how to apply it.
Okay, maybe tires is the wrong word, but you know, you get what I'm saying. So I feel like luteal phase and ovulation phase are two like opposite ends that you guys need to be watch out for. And we get like 1.5 week, 1 week of like really good week to ourselves. So as long as you watch out for those 2 weeks, I feel like you're fine. Because ovulation phase, I'd be like, babe, where are you? Come here. During luteal phase, I'd be like, why are you here? Why are you breathing so loud? Please leave me alone. Give me some space.
For the guys that are trying to master long-term monogamy, this information is invaluable. Being able to shift into two different energies can be really useful to you when it comes to dealing with a woman long-term. Knowing when to be more direct and provocative can be extremely exciting to her during the right time. On the contrary, you need to know when to be more pulled back and when to leave her alone. There's a significant population of men that believe they should always be the same with their behavior, regardless of what the woman's going through. Sure, you can argue that it provides stability, but at the same time, I don't think this strategy optimizes her emotions. If you're asking me, of course, in the modern era where survival needs aren't as important and excitement is more important, I would argue this is more important than ever before. I'd go as far as to say that there's a pressure in this direction for men to be able to provide this dualistic experience. The men that are able to consistently do this are going to have a much better time with women than the guys that are staying locked in the past. This, of course, is where the game component has to work its way into the equation. It's not that you're using it for a nefarious purpose, but you're doing it to optimize her experience. For most of you, this is something that you should keep in mind. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to check my links in the description below.